Salute, peace and power, peace and power. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows all things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power to the people to struggle. As you come on in, know that this is a safe space. Know that this is a space for learning and getting learned up. Know that this is a space for educating and being educated. Know that this is a space for questions and answers, comments and concerns, conversation, dialogue, a space for higher intellect, a space where we question everything and use facts. This is your space, a space of love, a space where we work on unity as we seek a path towards true liberation. As my classroom assistants come on in, please keep all contact information in the chat for the duration of class. Please keep all funding information in the chat for the duration of class. Fund this war effort as this bullshit's still going on. We need to make sure what we do for ourselves is first and primary. Fund the war effort. Okay? If you or anybody you know is in need of anger management, please book an assessment. Don't wait till it's too late. If you or anybody you know is in need of domestic violence consultation, please book an assessment. Don't wait until you had it up to here. Don't wait until the bickering turns into something else. Please book an assessment. If you or anybody you know is in need of intimate relationship abuse, intervention, please book an assessment. Learn the warning signs, behaviors that you need to be alarmed by, the characters and characteristics that you need to have an awareness of. Okay? Remember, with the information, the life you save could be your own. Top of the evening. What's going on? Yeah, you see what type of time it is tonight. You see what type of class is going to be tonight. Yes, we have a question. We got a question. We have to figure some things out. We have to come to a different way to view what they're calling the hip-hop culture and who should be viewed when we're talking about top MCs. Yeah. And it's a little history class. Yes, it's a history lesson, a history class, so ride with me. Now, I know I usually ask for a lot of participation. Yeah, I usually do. But man, now tonight, you're going to ride, you're going to listen. Of course, you could comment, chime in, but you're going to listen. This is a lesson. Okay, so somebody tag KP. Somebody tag Killer Priest. Man, listen. It's 45 of y'all already in here. That's what it's reading. 18 to 20 of y'all was waiting before we even kicked off. So y'all might as well tag y'all favorite MCs. Tag y'all top 5. Tag your top 10. Man, damn it, tag your top 50. Tag them. and see if they can stand up to what we have right here. And tag your classmates, because we already up in the building. We already doing what we do. Let's see who's up in here. Cool KK is up in here. Merklo 26 up. Sultan Thomas. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. My cousin. What up? C Blaze, the sniper. Sniper. In the spot. Kai Stone. Dustfro 517. Philip Boone. Christopher Farmer. Yes. And Focus 2C. Yeah. S. Beckles. We got London in the house, y'all. Magic, Lil Brit, what's going on? Talk to me. Let's get it together. Let's get it right. UK is up in here. The Big Swerm Diggs. Peace, peace. Who? Emil? Emil Bowles? 55. Yeah. Power. 55 for you. Andrea Jones, what's going on, Andrea? Yes. Lady Charles, what's going on? Jeff Sparks, what's going on? We see you up in the spot. Blackleaf, Zone 864 TV, Bernadette, Bushhead, Freddie, yeah, Slaughter, General was good. Uptown Drake, God, Stone, yeah, yeah, that's right. Mr. Walter Reed, George Johnson, yes, Tidal Brown, 55, Tidal Brown, 55, yeah. Hey, Ghoster, what up? Jean, Arlene, Kim, you, what's going on, Jean? Yes, keep keeping us safe. Merle, Mal, much appreciated. Murder Gang, what's going on? E. Blandon, what's going on? We see you. Terrain Howard, Terry, 55, Terrain, 55. Yeah. Kelton, what's going on? Mr. Anton, Geechee, what's up? Think for yourself. Ken Williams, we see you. Angel, we see you. The mighty Hebrew. We see you. Y'all already know what type of class is going to be. On knowledge, yeah. Yeah, but y'all got to ride. You got to ride. We going to break it down. Well, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to make sure that I have enough facts to substantiate my claim here. All right? So, as we know, this is August. Yesterday, I kept it quiet. I kept it to myself. But it was the anniversary of the life and assassination of George L. Jackson. August 21st, I'm always going to, yeah, it's deep. So I guess that's why my energy's been all over the place. I've been making an attempt to work, to get back to 100%. You dig? Yeah. So that's always on my mind. Definitely in August. Always on my mind. So I'm definitely going to do a class on that before the week's end. Definitely before we move from August. But I want to talk about Killah Priest. Some may say a Wu-Tang affiliate, right? Others may allow him to stand alone, but we're going to break it down. And Now is a perfect time because the industry's in a disarray. Disarray. Okay? Beard Gang Tabernacle. What up, Raheem Perez? Luke Sincere. Peace. Okay? Uh-huh. Yeah, we see you, Alchemist. What's going on? Miss Wheels. So we gonna give it to you the only way that I could give it to you in class. All right? So rock with me, rock with me, rock with me. And all of this is only really, I could have went in, you did, but this was inspired. The whole class was inspired by my brother La. Motivation, inspiration through a conversation that we had. And I said, yeah, this is the perfect time for it, La. The perfect time for it. All right? So we can unfudge a lot of people's thought patterns when it comes to the art of MCing. Okay? Get rid of the ownership, get rid of all these elders of the game and all these washed up ass individuals who, again, because others was making the charge and saying that, man, as long as you got a voice and a mic, you should still make records. You should still be out there. But that ain't the case. It's not. Some of them making some trash, and the trash is getting pumped into the airwaves. Then you got some dudes that are 60 that are still idolizing narcotic peddlers and certain type of lifestyles that have not been conducive to our growth. So the kids don't have anything to build on. So in this lesson, let's go through it. And again, I'm going to be moving. I'm going through. Remember, this is me, okay? My opinion on how we should view this individual, Mr. Killah Priest, government name Walter Reed, who, matter of fact, is a Leo. Just celebrated his born day on the 16th, which only adds, okay, to my argument. That is, Killah Priest, the best MC. Is he the best God MC? Okay? August the 16th. 16th. Knowledge, equality, all being born to what? To God. Which makes him a perfect example and a representation. And in the numbers, hey, he had no other choice but to be the best, the cream of the crop, okay? Now, those who haven't heard of him may be stuck in a space where they only embrace commercial rap. Maybe weren't around for hip hop. Maybe they weren't in that energy of hip hop. See, because in the beginning, what we knew of hip hop was reality of our conditions, reality rap. The very first song that they pushing to say this is what it is was the message, reality rap. And from that point of reality of our conditions, of our awareness, everything springboarded from there. So we went from reality rap to a very, very, very small space of consciousness. And somebody or individuals who put consciousness and intelligence. It's one thing to be steeped in your own reality, in the energy of your immediate conditions. It's another thing to be conscious, to use intelligence, to see yourself outside of those conditions and surpassing it. Those are points of which one has to mature to. So in the space of where we were at one time in the culture, we had the message, right? Melly Mel, Raheem Scorpio, right? Flash, Kid Creole, we had that. And we also had Problems of the World Today. Fearless Four. See, those were what MCs were back then. You had to have a multitude of different styles. That's when somebody considered you nice. You had your story rhymes, right? You had your reality rhymes, right? You had your party rhymes. You understand? The call and change. You had to have a bunch. And if you had a bunch, you was considered nice. Definitely if you could come off the top of your head with it. So that's where we were. And make no bones about it. Both of those songs were so phenomenal. And those MCs, right? We talk Melly Mel and we talking Tito, Peso, right? Right? Mike G, that they still in the bars stand to this very day. The message, Problems of the World Today. Now, of course, when we're looking at that time, young Walter Reed was only 10, 11 years old. 10, 11 years old. So around the same age, right? Let's see, I got a year on him, right? So we were influenced in that same space. But before we allow that to be our main influence, old Walter Reed, Killer Priest, KP, is from a very, very, very important section of Brooklyn, New York. He's from Brownsville, Brooklyn. And we have to make sure you understand where his mind went being raised in Brownsville, right? The cousin to East New York. Conditions there, though similar to the Bronx, where we're getting the message, where we're getting Problems of the World Today, where we're getting influenced by, what we're hearing sonically, and wasn't seeing much of it, we were hearing through boom boxes, we were hearing because our older guards, right? And we're going to get on that too, was going to Harlem World of Fever, going all around, bringing this stuff back to the east, to Brownsville. So Killer Priest was definitely in a space where our conditions through poverty, right? And being way in the back of Brooklyn. See, we on the border of Queens. But see, what makes Brownsville so special is that Brownsville, as a section of Brooklyn, touches every other section. Just about. Brownsville is really, when you look at it, the heart of BK. The heart of BK. Why? Because when you in Brownsville, you touch East New York, or East New York touches you. You touch Canarsie, or Canarsie touches you. You touch Bushwick, or Bushwick touches you. Okay? You touch the 90s, or the 90s touches you. You touch East Flatbush, or East Flatbush touches you. This is Brownsville. Okay? This is Brownsville. This is where Killer Priest was raised as a youngin'. And in the mix of being in that space, everything within the section of Brownsville, he has to absorb See, we had to go outside back then. Sitting in the house. We had to go outside. And I don't know about y'all, but I know if you ever visited cousins in Brownsville, shit, even to this very day, kids is outside at 7 and 8 years old. Yeah, going in the store by the damn self, handling life on their own. And if you know anything about Brownsville too, you act up out there, you get your ass whipped. Oh, it's a lot of fisticuffing out there. Yeah. We already know. The proof is in the pudding. How many championship fighters, boxers came out of Brownsville? We got, of course, the youngest heavyweight champion in the world, Iron Mike Tyson, out of Brownsville. We got Riddick Bowe. Yeah. My high school graduating class buddy. Yeah, we got Riddick Bowe coming out of East New York, Brownsville. We got Shannon Briggs, East New York, Brownsville. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Zab Judah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Daniel Jacobs. Mm-hmm. And up and comer, Shoo. We know the significance of Brownsville and the knuckle game because you had to be tough. You had to have heart. You had to be able to stand on who you were, stand on what you say. So as an MC, that is in Killah Priest, it's in them. So the bars, by the time we get to hear him, by the time we actually are aware of who he is, this is the environment. Okay? This is the environment that he was raised up in. An environment of fighters. But there's also a history that many people don't know about East New York and Brownsville when we go even further back. Because in the late 1890s, 1910, 1920s, and the 30s and the 40s, that it was heavily Irish and Italian. So of course we had, right, the mafia right there. So the influence of us seeing the savagery, right? People don't know that the original Murder Inc. headquarters was right there on Saratoga and Livonia. Yeah, Murder Inc. Albert Anastasia. Yeah. Lepke and all them dudes right there in Brownsville. I just want you to know, in case you didn't know. Okay? Right there. So not only are you dealing with poverty, you're also dealing with an element of gangsterism, and crime, brutality. And people often wonder why most dudes that come up in East New York or Brownsville is quick to play the hammer game, quick to play the strong arm game. Because when you are dealing with, and some people are dealing with energies, right? Gematria and all that, that's embedded in us. It's all we seen, it's all we really knew, especially if we was attracted to the street element. So along with these gangsters, you hear me, right? The original Murder Inc. right there. Yeah, Lucky Luciano, all of them, right there. And you know what they did. you know how much work they put in, right? Murder Inc. was alleged to have 400, anywhere from 400 to 1,000 bodies. How do you think that environment, that energy, how do you think the effect that it has on us growing up around it? That smell is in the air. That bravado, that anger, that rage is in the air. We already did a build in class on All God's Children where we broke down the brutality of the slave owners in South Carolina and how that had an effect, a very, very scientific and tight effect on the slaves from those plantations in South Carolina. We still didn't finish that book, where we talk about the history, the DNA, the lineage of Willie Bosket, who also was Brownsville, East New York, and was the first and youngest teenager to be charged as an adult for violent crimes in New York State. Okay, this is the energy. Now, of course, as we started evolving, okay, run with me now, as we started evolving as a culture in hip hop, and we kind of got up out of that reality rap, once you got out of the era and you started having the solo MCs, the Mo D's, right, and the L's and all them, we shifted in '86 when we was definitely now in our adolescence, deep in the streets, okay? Because what? Other influences that was in Brownsville at the time, you know, might have strayed and left us youngins on our own. Because right there in the pocket, that priest was around, was Club Future, Operation Future. What was Club Future and Operation Future? That was Akbar. Akbar, right? The mighty Akbar. From the 5%ers, the nation of 5%ers. Champ. Right? Ex-gang leader. Street youth organizer. All wise and civilized, who had a heavy hand in Brownsville, in the intellect of Brownsville. Because not only did he come from street organizations, but he had knowledge of self. So that's running through. Get me now, rock with me. You have a child that's growing into his adolescence, influenced by the savagery of his conditions, right? The poverty, right? A culture that wasn't embraced by anybody other than us. And now you have somebody with knowledge of self right there. What else can you become? You have no choice. You become what? Somebody with knowledge. You become fearless. You become a fighter. You become somebody that thinks. And in all aggression, your thoughts are a manifestation of yourself. And then you take that manifestation and physically move out and about. So now in 86, when you become somebody who may be getting their first summer youth jobs or first jobs, the culture is shifting. Now you get other people. You get Rakim, right? The initial guard MC. You got Big Daddy Kane, right? So now you're hearing on the sound waves in the radio what you learned from Akbar, okay? What you were hearing in the streets. Now, we're not gonna say Rob was first, and I want y'all to understand it. Rob was the most famous because in Brownsville, while you had the influence of Murder Inc., and you had the influence of the Tomahawks and every other street organization running through there, you had Akbar and the 5%ers. When you had that on wax, with an international hit, you had the world famous Supreme Team. And if you were a youngin' and in the park jams or running around between East New York and Brownsville and trying to be out, you saw and heard the guards. You saw and heard them build. And you also heard the song, right? Peace, Allah, and justice, and justice, peace, Allah, and justice, and justice. You heard it. And by the time they did the world famous Supreme Team show, you know. You knew what it was. So you had absolutely no choice but to be influenced by it. So when you hear Rakim spit that, oh, of course. But you know that. If you was raised in it, if it was in your house, if it was in your projects, if it was in your class, you knew what it was, so we appreciated it. Then you had Kane, who, of course, broke down his name, but didn't maintain throughout the bars, throughout every song. Rod did that. Rod kept that in. Kane, he did it with the imagery, no doubt, with the leather fronts, with the flags, and yeah, definitely. But musically, you heard it from Ra. And then you heard it from Puba. And after Puba, you heard it from, and I'm not talking about Brand Nubians, I'm talking about Puba, okay? Before Brand Nubians, Masters of Ceremony Puba. If you was at Union Square Latin Quarters, you heard him, okay? And you had Poor Righteous Teachers and King's Son and Lakim Shabazz. So you're getting, right, the initial DNA of what conscious rap, conscious bars became. This was the initial pieces right there. Now, you get the native tongue movement, right? You get the JBs, you get the tribe, right? Remember? Get that. You get that because they had to piggyback off of Ra. Remember? Ra set it off. Didn't he set it off? Huh? He set it off and kept it in your face with everything. We moved the crowd. Did he? Did he not? With in the ghetto, right? Planet Earth was my place of birth, born to be the sole controller of the universe. Okay? You got it. All right? He kept that in your face. I learned to relax in my room and escape from New York and return through the womb of the world as a thought. You're getting consciousness. You're getting somebody to say, oh, what's that? If you knew what it was, oh, yeah, God, yeah. So you wanted to be more. You wanted to express yourself in a different way. Okay? Right? Come on now, y'all rocking with me? Because this is where it's at. You getting Rakim, you moving through. Okay, here we are. Right? It's time to bust out the Rakim show. I'm the intelligent, wise on the mic. I will rise right in front of your eyes because I am a surprise. So I'm going to let my knowledge be born to a perfection. All praises due to Allah, and that's a blessing. Huh? With knowledge of self is nothing I can't solve. In 360 degrees, I revolve. This is an actual fact. It's not an act. It's been proven. Indeed, as I proceed to make the crowd keep moving. This, now, people are thirsting for it. They don't want to hear about Calvin Klein's no friend of mine. Don't want nobody's name or my behind. Yeah, that was cool. But now you're getting something different. So Ross said it. And you went through the JBs and Q-Tip, right? Black is black and all that. And you get even deeper to the consciousness. Now it's starting to really come because dudes are saying, no, we can put the degrees and the lessons in that, but we can go a step further. So you get X-Clan. And why would X-Clan influence Killah Priest? Because Sonny Carson, Brownsville, East New York, Bed-Stuy. Okay? Need I say more? Professor X's father. Heavy into working in conjunction with Akbar. With Akbar. Yeah. Sonny Carson and Champ. However you want to put it. Akbar. Right? And Sonny Carson. So what? What else could Walter Reed become but a product of environment, of a new environment, of Brownsville, an environment where he is a fighter, where he has knowledge of self, where he has a consciousness, where he's seen the 5%ers, where he's seen Tomahawks, where he's seen Operation Future, where he was also influenced by the Lucchese crime family and street organizations because the families of Brownsville. Let's not forget the 1968 Ocean Hill community control protest to take over the schools so that we can get the knowledge of self, so we can get the 10-point Panther Party program into the minds of, listen, man, Brownsville, Brooklyn, come on now. Come on now. I'm giving it to you raw. What else was he going to spit about when he became an MC? What else could he spit about? This is his environment. This is what he's witnessing. So now when he gets engulfed in the culture, and beats, rhymes, look at the influence. World famous Supreme Team, Akbar, Sonny Carson, Your mother and father protesting in Brownsville to get community control of the schools. Lucchese crime family still running around. And now, you are a man-child with a microphone. What else could you spit about? You walk, you are growing, you're learning your environment. You see club, man, the future, club future, operation future, whatever. And however you titled it, man, that was a mainstay. Parties at the future, you better know how to knuckle up if you ain't from Brownsville. If you coming across the bridge, across the damn track, across the trestle, you better be able to either have a knuckle game or have knowledge yourself. This is the environment. You can't go to Pick and Ave shopping. You can't go to Belmont shopping. Somebody laying for you. This is Brownsville. This is the environment that built Killah Priest. Okay? So I'm telling you, here we at. This is where we at with it. We came through Rakim, came through Kane, who eventually went commercial. And other than Young, Gifted, and Black, you wasn't hearing too many degrees there. Kane's 4 or 5 albums in. By then, you ain't hear a whole bunch of degrees in comparison to Ra, and definitely not in comparison to By the Time Brand New Beings came through. Okay? Now, in the mix of all that, now we getting to where we at with it. All right? Remember, this man came from a community steeped in deep community activism, protests, because while you got Operation Future, young kids are seeing Akbar with the construction coalition. They're hearing that the mob is mad at Akbar because Akbar is getting black men jobs running down on construction sites. You understand? Brownsville don't build too many punks, man. They know what it is out there. That is a community of strength. So you not coming out of Brownsville talking about the hard. You're not coming out of Brownsville talking about knocking the boots. You're not getting that bubblegum rap. You're not getting none of that coming out of there. All right? Again, I keep telling you, Brownsville touches, or every other section of Brooklyn touches Brownsville at any given point. The 90s, East Flatbush, East New York, Canarsie, Bushwick, it all touches. And if you want to call Crown Heights, it all touches Brownsville, or Brownsville touches it. That's the heart. It's the heart of BK. Now, coming out of Cephalo, this is his influence. This is what he is. So by the time he picking up the mic, by the time he getting around Wu-Tang Clan, we already know, we already heard, there was already a murmur that the guards was coming, right? Because we already seen, the genius and trying to do me, right? We seen that. We seen, oh, I love you, Rakim, Prince Rakim. We already know the names of 5% of names. We know that. So by the time Wu came through, and Ghost is saying, the God left the lessons on the dresser so I could bloom and blossom, and you hearing, and these are bars that manifest thought that encourages you to be better and do better. These are threatening bars to anyone who has an idea of white supremacy or commercial rap. So after they run through and do the Wu thing, you start to hear of RZA doing other groups or doing other projects. And one of his side projects was what? The Grave Diggers. And they tried to paint Grave Diggers as horrorcore, right? Because again, what they were spitting in the bars wasn't the average, right? You're not gonna sit in school somewhere and hear the words that they were using. The ideas, the context of the rhymes. You wouldn't hear that, okay? So of course, it was different. And in that, that's when you get your first dose of Killah Priest. Right? Two songs. And then, of course, other projects come about, and then you get a full dose. You get a dose of him when you get a good image of him in what was it, shadow boxing, right? And then people are looking and saying, yo, who is that? Who is that? I judge wisely between two pillars of ivory. I'm lively. Whoa. And the image of him on the throne. Enlightening. Dudes is already like, hold on, man, first we had Wu. Then we get Wu, and we got, who's that? Then you got Kappa. Then you started getting affiliates. You seen Shaheem, and you like, how many of these dudes are there? So when you see Priest, dudes is like, yo, who is that? This is different. Who is that? The imagery, the strength, the voice. Yeah. That's that Brownsville. That's that Brooklyn. Image. What he's spitting. Nobody was spitting like that. Not even within the clan. Because the clan, all 10 of them had different styles, right? And that's what we loved about it. Different flows. And in between the bars, everybody's spitting something different. But this was different. Killah Priest was in a different space. He took individuals from reality rap to higher level consciousness. And that was totally different. Where there was a mixture of doctrines and the image, right? Because now we get to it. His solo album. Whoo, heavy mental. Heavy mental. Now I'm telling you, when I was in the darkest place, way in the mountains, way behind steel and concrete, there was certain hip hop cassette tapes that I played consistently to remain up, energized and militant. I had that war report. Yeah. I had Wu-Tang Forever. Yeah. I had that Machiavelli. And I had that heavy mental. That heavy mental took it there. Production, everything was different. One step and everything. When I heard that, I said, yo, this right here, this is where hip hop has to be. This is where it has to go. This is what has to be the influence. The babies gotta hear this. And where did it come from? It came from an individual born and raised in Brownsville, where he had absolutely no other choice than to put together an album like that. To put bars together just like that. Now, the entire bill, this entire class, basically was influenced because we had a conversation about one song, and that song, From Then Till Now. And in it, From Then Till Now, is what we're going to use as the argument for whether or not he was the nicest God MC to ever come through. We're going to use it. We're going to use it. Because I have faith. I mean, one step for me was solid. Solid. One step. Listen. Woo! Straight bananas. But we're going to use From Then Till Now. From Then Till Now. That's what we're going to use. Now, line for line, in it and in itself, could be biographical, it could be figurative, right? Well, let's use that. Let's use that. Okay? From then to now, let's just go up in there. Now remember, Heavy Mental was wrote, recorded, released in 1998. We're in 2024. Okay? Let's just move along with that. Guns, shootouts, and crack sales. Black males who pack jails. Trapped in hell. No peace, cold sheets. Surrounded by the police. This whole week. Now, from 89 to 93, that's basically what life was. When you came out, you heard them hammers popping. When you went inside, you heard hammers popping. In the mix of people selling krills, okay? In the mix of that, Big Swerm Diggs, much appreciated for the super chat. That's what it was, okay? So by the time he's spitting about it in 9/8, this is something we was knee deep in it, okay? I mean, shit, on New Year's, hammers would be ringing from rooftops, from corners, from East New York to Brownsville, from midnight to about 1:30 in the morning. And you would be on the roofs and you'd be like, damn! How many pieces of steel is in East New York and Brownsville? Literally, if you was on anybody's roof from midnight to about 1:30 in the morning, all you heard. Boom, boom. That's it. So you saying that in a bar, guns, shootouts, crack sales, black males who pack jails. That's what the crack ever did. It packed the prison system. And that's nothing but hell. Nothing but it. Okay? Now, to give you a connection to the jails, he says this whole week, buildings with no heat, no lights, the gas pipes with slow leaks. If you got gas pipes with slow leaks back then, all this fancy dancy shit up here, carbon monoxide alarms and all that, we didn't have that shit back in the days. You was out of here if your gas pipe had a slow leak in the projects or in one of these tenement buildings. You was done. So these are the pictures that are created when somebody's really nice on the mic. That's the picture. So he's just not sitting up there talking about Brenda got a big old butt. What? No slight to L, but there was a time that we had to move past that. Okay? We had to. So again, buildings with no heat, no lights, gas pipes with slow leaks, dog bites and low life, throw dice the whole night, thieves creeping in midnight evenings. This is what it was. Dudes is literally rolling dice all night while you got thieves creeping, dudes coming through to stick up the dice games. So, giving you a picture of the regressive way we was living right then and there. That's how we lived and thought it was okay. Even though in the mix of that, we had very positive things going on. We had people pushing for us to do better. All right? Now, we saw through the misty regions, go to your house and take fire for the demons. Moonlit, lunar eclipse. Prophet stands in the midst of seven, right? Of the seven candlesticks. I can't take it. Beauty that was once sacred is now growing and getting, right? Let's get to it now. I want y'all to stay with me. 1998. So y'all don't believe this shit is nothing new, right? Beauty that was once sacred is now getting facelifts, fake tits, and fake lips. Cold embraces. Okay? Beauty that was once sacred. Our melanated queens. Beauty that was sacred. A woman woke up in the morning, washed her face, and loved her face. Loved her body. Is now getting facelifts, fake tits, and fake lips. Cold embraces. Because when you embrace that, somebody that went through that, you back then, it wasn't what it is now, I'll tell you that. You could tap on them fake breasts and feel that hard ass silicone and all that. So when you hugging them in the club and somebody got that, it's fake. Right? So the embrace is cold because there's no more of them loving themselves. They lost that. Trying to be other than themselves. Right? Which was sacred beauty. Okay? This is in the bars. Memory of races from the slave ships. My princess, I used to spot her from a distance, holding my infant, burning incense. Now, you see that? How did he know today, in 2024, right? Where I used to spot her from a distance. You can't spot your princess from a distance no more. You can barely spot your princess if she's right in front of you. Could be somebody different. Could be somebody different. Right? Now I'm saying, when he wrote this, it was Bruce Jenner. Now it's Caitlyn. So again, my princess, I used to spot her from a distance, holding my infant, burning incense. The moment intent for her to step into my white tents. Now we steep, excuse me, you understand? Now we step in precincts for your ebony prince, the smell of frankincense, right? Instead of that, instead of you seeing each other in the hood the way we used to see each other, greet each other, hug each other, you trying to bag shorty, shorty trying not to get bagged. You dig? By the time y'all do get together and that's your shorty and you moving around, shit done changed now. Because why? Because instead of you seeing, or her seeing you, she got to come to Central Booking to see you. She got to go to the Allen to see you. Now we step in precincts for your ebony prince. You dig? That's what took place. And now, they don't even view each other as princes and princesses or kings and queens. They don't. Oh, shorties, and that's my dude. So in 1998, when this was penned, was he somebody whose intellect, intelligence, and foresight was he appreciated? Is he the nicest individual that put something together from 1998? Still standing right here. Once treated like a pharaoh with royal apparel, anointed in myrrh and aloe. We used to wallow among the mallows. We had herd, sheep and cattle. Now we battle. We used to pass over brooks of Kiron. Ooh. Towers of Lebanon. The pool of what? Come on now. We used to sing songs upon Mount Hebron. How does gold turn to bronze? How does gold turn to bronze? We was the wisest and the richest. Now we turn to snitches. Women turn to bitches. In the time of harvest, we was the smartest. Worship wisdom like the goddess. Now we act retarded. We forsook the wisdom of the fathers. We used to have 1,000 flagons of wine in Palestine. Now we drink Ballantine and rage up in a violent mind. 1998. So it's not new. These people are acting like snitching is new. We told y'all, Nicky Barnes was a snitch. Shit. The very essence of the Gazy family in Brownsville had one of the first mob snitches, Kid Twist, right there, told on the whole Brownsville mob. And of course, he didn't survive, fell out of a window or something. So we know that it's always a possibility. Remember, That's how it was. So when he putting it in the bars, and now women don't even have to turn to bitches. They come out the womb. You got little pre-K girls dancing the Glorilla. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they may come out calling themselves bitches from the rip. There's no turning the bitches in 2024. Mm-hmm. You got women on TV proud to be bitches. In government office, in corporate America. Hey, that's my bitch. Hey, bitch. Right? Here, he's telling you. Okay? Uh-huh. Yeah, we used to have 1,000 flagons of wine in Palestine. Now we drink Valentine and rage up in a violent mind. We used to have 100 measures of oil, 80 measures of wheat and barley. We lived godly, listening to Bob Marley before the devils robbed me, chasing us through the African safari. History lesson in the mix of his current conditions. Mm-hmm. Yeah. From then to now, what goes up must come down. What goes down comes back around again. Where it all began. From then to now. From then to now, huh? What goes up must come down. What goes down comes back around again. Where it all began. Okay? Singing holy anthems, lamping with all my handsome grandsons, hair long as Samson, inside my gold mansion. So now he's foreseeing his future. Because in 1998, he ain't had no grandsons, so he must be talking about now, 2024. I don't know if he's a granddad yet, but he's old enough to be, but he spoke it. Mm-hmm. They used to wear purple Pampers, but now we Black Panthers. Some are actors and dancers. It's funny how the dollar bill have my seeds holler for meals. Mother swallow a pill. Roads seem hollow, but still grab a bottle to heal. It's like a noose. Of seventh seal over Brownsville. Man, I'm saying, what's the difference between the ghetto and death row? Man, the tech blow. I'm left in Cephalo, where the cries echo and echo and echo. Come on now. This is where it is. So who was nicer? Who was nicer? Come on now. From the Crystal City, near Getty, children used to roll, on lilies. Now they roll up Phillies. But the pyramids, what? What? Come on now. Sometimes I've eavesdropped in the books of Enoch. We went from studying, what? Beneath a waterfall. We went from studying apostles of Paul beneath a waterfall, rubbing crystal balls. But now we spray paint our initials on the wall. Spray paint our initials on the wall. For what? See how this move? You see the destruction? You see the lack of representation in the culture? So I'll ask you. Gotta ask you. Is he the nicest? And of course, we can always add on and say, well, what is going on now? Why isn't the manifestation of 98 being pushed now? What have the gods done? Man, they've been around a long time. Come on now. Long time. Man, 6 decades. Man, hold on, wait a minute now. Let me get the math right. Man, 7 decades. 7 decades. What have the lessons produced? Because we already know hip-hop produced the gods. It used to produce the gods. Now they produce custies. It used to produce Earths and Queen Latifahs. Now it produces Booty Hole Brown and Glorilla. So is it the fault of the gods? I'm saying, how nice can one be if the message doesn't endure? Remember, the only reason why the degrees, the lessons, still produce gods, because if you don't touch them, you put them out, and you build on them and manifest them the very way they were written, you don't change them, you're gonna produce gods. You're gonna produce Earths. But once you go up into an institution that the bankers and Bagelmeisters own, the guards are gonna get forced out, pushed out, kicked out. Come on now. So again, that's just a question. That's where we at with it. You dig? It's not enough to just say it. It's not enough to just go back and forth about it. You got to understand the man. You have to understand the environment. Then when you go back and you do the research on the very materials that he put out, who can you really put up against it? Because anybody can, be a hustler. Shit, that ain't nothing new. Jay ain't tell you nothing that you couldn't do on your own when you haven't seen. Neither did Bay. Anybody could do that shit. And definitely any of these knuckleheads that's out now, anybody could be a chicken boss or play gripper gate and, have to deal with Ruben or one of them and let them at the white party playing your behind. Anybody could do that. Right? But can you build gods? Can you build a higher consciousness? Can you get the listener to think, to ponder, to have a mind where they have a concept of some individual within themselves that is greater than their actual self? Can you do that in your bars? Can you come from Brownsville? And be that. Okay? So yeah. But as always, guard your mind. Guard your mind. Okay? And the classroom assistants, much appreciated for holding it down as always. Make sure y'all come back to class with all 10 fingers and 10 toes. All 10 fingers and 10 toes. For those who funded the war effort this evening, salute to you, much appreciated. To all those who shared and gonna share and gonna comment, please do. If you think somebody is nicer, if you think a guard MC is nicer, please drop a comment, tag them, share the vid with them, and see if their life, if the manifestation, if the conditions that they lived under allowed them to manifest, to show and prove on a microphone, and could compare to the catalog of a killer priest, tag them. Tag them. I'm sure, you know, most of them will have something to say about it. You dig? And as always, man, 55 gang, get y'all grades up.